All right, everyone. It's time. We're back. NERC Weekly Update. It's been a while since we've done one of these. It's been chaotic in my life the past couple of weeks. So, finally getting back on board with the summer season rapidly approaching. So, during this segment here, we're going to be covering our SHL teams, our WNHL teams. We're going to get a floor update. I'm going to save that for the end, so you have to watch the whole thing or skip through, and then just kind of the future of NERC with a few things, things that we're looking to do, maybe even in the fall. So, first and foremost, summer league shortened due to waiting on the floor. I guess we'll just tackle that right now. The floor has been shipped. It's not going to get here till July 6th, unfortunately. And due to the fact that NERC has day camp, we are trying to look at installation dates. But again, it's been delayed a couple times already. It is coming from the Czech Republic. So it's been pretty hard just kind of nailing down what the exact day is going to be. We did get some tracking information, and it looks like the 6th is going to be the day in which the floor gets dropped. We then have to go pick it up. We then have to get it delivered to NERC. So there's still a lot of logistics that need to happen between it actually landing in the States and getting it to NERC. So trying to see if we can, what we can do to get it in, see if it's going to be something that we can start using, obviously as soon as possible. We all hate the NERC floor. I've hated it since the day it was put down. It was not my decision to put down an ice court. That was by another regime. And unfortunately, it's just gotten worse and worse over time. So it is a short season, so it shouldn't be too bad to deal with it for now. But the new steel mat floor, which we're getting, everyone's going to absolutely love. We went with the bright white color. I think I posted like a little bit of a mock design. But if you go to stillmat_USA on Instagram or anything, you could see some samples of the floor in other arenas. I know Highline Arena in New Jersey's getting it as well. So between us, Marple, them, everyone's going to have a still mat in this area. So the three kind of top ranks in the area all going to have still mat floors, which is going to which should, be great for us as far as getting tournaments and stuff like that. That kind of leads into the future of NERC as well, looking to get some more tournaments going. I will be running an Ironman in July, waiting on a date, but just kind of pull up the calendar here, looking at what date I was kind of leaning towards. And I was leaning towards the 19th of July to do an Ironman tournament. So I'm going to be looking at that pretty shortly to get that scheduled, either 19th or 12th, running a Friday night Ironman tournament. Basically $250 a team, cash prize at the end, you double your money. And it winds up just being a great night of hockey and hanging out with friends. So generally we do an A and a B division. The B division always seems to be bigger. So usually about 6 teams in the B and about 4 teams in the A. But we're going to get that Ironman going probably the 12th or the 19th, just kind of waiting to see which date might work better. I'm thinking the 12th personally, and we might even have overflow and be able to do one on the 19th. So I would love to have a full 10-team B division and be able to do like maybe an A and a C on a different night or something like that. But information on the Ironman will be coming out soon. We may even throw a youth division in there because that's going to lead into the next thing here, our junior league, kind of switching things up a little bit just because a lot of the kids in the junior league, I'm realizing, work down the shore and are down the shore a lot. So how we're doing the junior league this year is 6 o'clock every Thursday. The junior league is going to play a mini Ironman series. So essentially what they'll do is they'll get 2 round robin games and then a guaranteed playoff game and then a champion each week. And we're going to give away things each week for those winners. So pretty much what will happen is every Monday, you'll have to reply if you're in or out for that Thursday. Based off of who is in, we're going to make Ironman teams. We do have 3 goalies, so we'll just have the goalies kind of run on rotation, and we'll be able to kind of put it all together each week. It'll be $125 for the 6 Ironman skates, so it's going to be nice. You're going to get bang for the buck, because if you think about it, each Ironman game's 8 minutes long, so you're playing 3 guaranteed games. That's more than you would play in a typical game anyway. So that's how we're going to run the junior league this year. We're still going to do it as a Liberty, so we're going to have a Liberty white, black, red, and blue. So you'll pick up your jerseys each week. You'll be assigned to that team, pretty much sit on the bench while you wait for your game, and then we'll play kind of just a little bit of a round robin and boom, right through to a playoff and championship. So Thursdays for the men's league are going to start probably another 10 minutes later. But because we have no 10-20 games, it's not that big of a deal. So we'll be looking at more like 7:10, 8, 8:50, 9:40 starts as opposed to the 9:30, 8:40, and 7:50. So a little bit of a change there just for the weeknight and how we're doing the junior league. But a lot of the kids wanted to play. There's actually a bunch of new kids involved too. It just couldn't get the numbers there to do a full-on season. So it sounds like it's going to be pretty cool. And a lot of the kids were pretty pumped about it and actually preferred to do it this way because we did the ID skate and we ran an Ironman, and the kids were like, we should just do the league like this. So actually, shout out to Kane Bickle, my man going to the Seacoast Academy. It was kind of one of his ideas is to do little 2-loss elimination things, basically what this winds up being anyway. If you lose a round robin game and you lose a playoff game, you're out. So moving on to the weeknight league. So the weeknight league, we're going to have a gold, a silver, bronze A, bronze B, and then just a full copper. And depending on how the copper works out, I'll probably split the copper division for playoffs into a top 4, bottom 4, just because it is a mix of copper A and copper B teams from last year. We did move a copper A team up, which we'll get to in a minute, but we're going to start right there at the top of the list, 43 Oak Foundation. We had that as a silver team last year. I try to put a team in each year as 43 Oak, whether it's a free agent team or a team that I'm running or a draft team, whatever it may be. So 43 Oak is going to be a free agent copper team. So mix of some guys who play Sundays. You have Jameer, who plays on Odd Logic on Sundays. You have John Meyer, who plays Lazy Eights on Sundays. You have Tyler Foster, who played with our silver team last year. Andrew Juhas, who was playing on Odd Logic a couple seasons ago. You got Andy Edmonds as the Bacon goalie. He's playing on this team. So it's kind of a mix of some guys who are looking to still play in the summer and then some guys that are just new to NERC. So put together a team for them. So 43 Oak Foundation going to be in the copper division along with Broforce. The Bees. The Bees, I assume, is going to be kind of a mix of the Dragons guys. Brian Swiss is running this one, not John. John Zueza, I don't want to call him Swiss, but John is not running it this summer. They'll be back in the fall. With the Flying Hellfish, which we should send our condolences to Tim Manning, his family, and the teammates he had on the Flying Hellfish. Unfortunately, Tim had passed away a few weeks ago. So, we put up a little post about him just to kind of shed some light on just how positive a guy he was. So I know that, this season is going to be a very important season for them. Obviously, they made it to the championship last year, but losing someone who, I've only met him probably a handful of times. But when I did meet him, he always talked about roller and how much he loved roller and how much he loved what we were doing. So it was good to at least get, some sort of familiarity with him. But obviously, condolences to his family and his teammates. So Flying Hellfish in this season, you got the no names, who I'm making get jerseys finally because it's just been a disaster. I'm tired of taking championship photos of them with 9 different jerseys on. They got Bruce Stone to the 10th degree. So some guys have slasher jerseys. Some guys don't have jerseys at all. Bruce Stone is MIA, stealing from his family and everybody else in the world. So fuck Bruce Stone. It's a kid's show, but fuck Bruce Stone. I think everyone can agree with that. Turbulence, back again. Turbulence had a great regular season last year. Kind of fell off in playoffs, but they're going to be back this year. The two Utes, one of the most popping Instagrams. Since the Gabagools have kind of taken a step back, the Utes have really stepped up their game on the IG as far as the NERC teams go. And then we got the always complaining Wolf Pups. There's nothing I could do for this team. I could put them in Copper B. I could put them in Tinfoil Division. They always have a problem with someone. So I'm only kidding. Tom, you're a great guy. I know you just want to win, and guys just can't seem to get it done in the championship. But always complaining Wolf Pups is going to be the name for the summer here. In the Bronze B division, we have 8 teams, which I was super surprised about. Bronze B is always one of those divisions where the summer it does fall off a lot because there's usually 8 to 10 teams in there. Usually you'll come down to 5 or 6 or something like that. But we have the Bullies. Bullies are going to have a new little look from what I understand. So they're going to have some new guys on there. We have John Weeknight, who jumped up from the Copper A division. They won back-to-back Copper A championships. So with Ryan Farrell and net, it does make sense to jump them up. So I'll give Tom Bendig credit. You are going to be jumping up now into that Bronze B division, and I actually think they're going to be just fine in the Bronze B division, quite honestly. We had the Man Elfers, who, again, another great regular season last year, just couldn't get it done in playoffs. Nighthawks, moved them down from bronze A to bronze B, and I think this is exactly where they belong. They won a lot of games, but they lost a lot of games. A lot of their games are close, so I think they're in a perfect spot there. Rocco's Modern Snipes coming over from the Sunday Silver Division, so we're going to see them take the court on the weeknight Bronze B. We also have the Hive making a return, who are Bronze B defending champions. So they're going to be looking to make a big rush here. Threat Level Midnight and then Turtle Power, two teams that kind of had weird years last year. Threat Level had a couple bad just games at the end of the year, and Turtle Power just the beginning of the year was bad for them. So Turtle Power picked up Walto and Net for this summer, so it's going to be interesting to see how he adjusts from coming from the Sunday League to the Weeknight League, but I know he's played with those guys in the past, so definitely a good goalie to slide in there in that Bronze B. In the Bronze A, we have Burnsy Electric. They were our runner-up in the Bronze A division last year. We have Cafe Carmela, who's another team that I put together. It's a mix of guys from the Aces, guys from my 43 Oak Silver team last year, kind of came together and put together like a nice little Bronze A team. So they should be pretty solid, to be honest. I'd be interested to see how they all kind of mesh together, because I think you have 4 guys from the Aces, 2 kind of guys just randomly, and then 2 guys from my 43 Oak team. But their goaltender, Dave Casper, making his way back, finally healed up. He's going to be the big difference there. Carmen's Place back in the mix here. Carmen's Place, I've talked about them before, just depends who the hell shows up for them. So Carmen's Place is going to be back in the mix. We have the Kings. Kings are a new team. Steelhounds kind of combined with the Pigeons, I believe. So they're going to be in the Bronze A division. So they got sick jerseys made by Ethan Clearfield. He's going to be our jersey guy from now on. Let's give a shout out to Fusion and 5 Hole. They're going to be our jersey guy, because everyone who's got their jersey has just ranted and raved about the quality and his customer service. And if you order jerseys from him, he'll actually, he's got a little bit of a deal going on for NERC teams. He'll tell you more about it. But essentially, you can get some extra jerseys for your fill-ins and stuff like that at a little bit of a break. So make sure you reach out to Ethan. His info will be on the website this season as well. So I'll have him as one of the presenting sponsors on there. We have the Sharpshooters, who they're going to be picking up a few guys. So, and I think the guys that they're going to be picking up are pretty good. So it's going to be interesting to see how they mesh. And then Trump's legal team, I don't even know what to say about this one. It's the Wet Seals, but I think they're going to be having maybe a few different guys in the mix there. I just think the logo is funny, because I found it just by doing a Google search for Trump's legal team, and basically Trump behind bars is the American flag. So it was actually kind of funny. A little bit of a cartoon thing there, but Trump's legal team, they're essentially the Wet Seals, and I haven't got a full roster for them yet, but I will, obviously get that up there as soon as possible. Going to be working on that stuff the next day or so. In the Silver Division here, 4 teams. We have Advocates Silver, which is going to be my team, with a bunch of guys from the Junior League, a bunch of younger guys, some other guys who are coming home from playing ice. So Sean Melso, Byron Hartley, myself, and a bunch of kids from Holy Ghost. Aiden Hollings is going to be our goalie. He was a stud last year in the Junior League. DHC had a great best-of-3 series last year against the Renegades, and the Renegades went up losing to D5 in the championship, and that's who rounds out the rest of the Silver Division. So Silver still at 4 teams. Last year was at 5. No Aces, obviously. They're kind of just the one team who didn't come back, so they'll be back in the fall, but it should be very competitive Silver Division. So everybody will play everybody twice in the gold. And then in gold, we have Advocate Athlete, the Dirty Dogs, the Hawks, and Kraken. I would love to one day merge these 2 divisions together. But I think just because there's some crossover of guys playing on, 2 teams, it just doesn't really work out like that, especially with like the Renegades and the Kraken. And then even with the Hawks as well and Advocate, there's all guys playing on 2 teams. So, eventually, it'd be awesome to have like an 8-team, division there, but we'll kind of cross that bridge maybe in the fall when teams start coming back. And I have a feeling that in the fall, it's going to be mayhem with this new floor and teams coming back ready to play. Let's take advantage of not having, as many 10, 20 games now, because there's only 1 per week. So that's nice. That's nice for the future here. Draft League, going to have 4 teams. Big news about Draft League. We have a new team in there. It's an old sponsor that we've been dealing with, LaBeta. So we got some sick pink jerseys. My sister made them. I just posted them on the Instagram through Craft M. She's another one that if you want to get jerseys done really fast. Get some blank jerseys, get them over to her, and she can, make your logo, get a number on them real quick, and get them out there. If you're looking for more customized, go to Fusion. So we'll have Libedo whips, we'll have meal boosters, we'll have Fusion, and we'll have Fuel Hunt. I just put out the draft class for this year. It looks pretty stacked for the summer as it usually is. And that's pretty much it for the update here for the Weeknight Hockey League. Now moving on to the Sunday League. Sunday League, kind of interesting just because a lot of the Sunday teams in the bronze early are not playing in the summer, and that's more so due to just it kind of always works like that because it does get pretty warm in there during the summer in like kind of 12 to 2 o'clock range. So it makes sense that a lot of the late teams are back. In the Sunday Silver, they're going to start the day out now, so they're going to be the 12 and 1 o'clock slot. We have the Degenerates, we have the Steelhounds, we have the Stickheads, and then we have a new team, the Roller Dads. The Roller Dads are going to be kind of a combination of the Dons from the bronze late, mixed in with a couple of guys like Eric Wakefield, Dan Dolan, Jeff Moore, Dave Jerry, and Tim Brown. So kind of a mix of Brickhouse, the Dons, and then a couple guys in the middle. Jacob Waller will be tending net for them as well. So they're actually going to be a pretty nasty team. I think the guys from the Dons that they had are some of their better guys too. The bronze late division with 10 teams in it, which is pretty awesome at this point. So bronze late, you're going to have, it's just a bronze division. So it's 10 teams. We're going to split it 5 and 5 for playoffs. You have the Gobble-Ghouls, you have the Hippos, Honeybees, Lazy Eights, Little Beauties, Trash Pandas, Stranglers. The gang starts a roller team, Thundercats, and then 2 Utes. So the gang and the Hippos were both our champions from the last season. So I think the gang is probably going to wind up in that top half. I would say, just as my predictions for the Sunday League, my top half teams will probably consist of the Hippos, the Lazy Eights, the Thundercats, the gang, and I think that last one's going to be taken by the two Utes or Gobble-Ghouls, depending on who the Gobble-Ghouls get, because I know they combine with the Pylons. I think they could kind of manage that 5th spot or take that 5th spot. And then on the other side, obviously, you have the Honeybees, Lazy Eights, Little Beauties, Trash Pandas, Stranglers, and then one of those 2 teams kind of falling out as well. I think the Sunday bronze is going to be actually awesome because it starts a little earlier. So I know a lot of those late teams like the early games, which, again, I've said this multiple times. I would love to just have a day on Sundays where you could play at any time between 12 p.m. and 10 p.m. If it was easy to do that, I would. But I would love to be able to just organize this where you have a silver division, obviously, and maybe that can always start out the day. And I think I'll be able to get some more teams back on Sundays if I could start out silver at the 12-1 and maybe even 2 o'clock, get it to a 6-team division. But I would love to start the day silver and then just have a bronze A and B. And those bronze A and Bs in a full season would have probably 10 teams in each division. Right. So it would be sweet if you had a 10-team division where, I could maybe even have more. I could probably have a bronze A, bronze B, and bronze C. Like that's how big that division could be. And you could do something, like 5 in one division, 6 in another, 6 in another, whatever it is. It would be nice to be able to do that and spread out bronze throughout the whole day. And some weeks you'll play early, some weeks you'll play late, but I know it doesn't work like that for everybody. Some people like playing early only. So it's kind of why we set it up that way. Before we took on a lot of the Sportsplex Sunday night teams, which are a lot of the teams that I kind of had in the beginning. They always liked late, and I never understood why I wouldn't get up early on a Sunday, get it out of the way. And then I have all the original NERC teams who wish they could start playing at 8 a.m. again. If you remember, before the pandemic, we started at 8 a.m. and we would stop at 7 p.m. Our bronze late was smaller. It was basically a 4, 5, 6, 7 p.m. game, something like that. So maybe like 6 to 8 teams in there, but we started at 8 a.m. So that used to carry out, that bronze early division literally used to run from 8 a.m. till 2 p.m. And then you'd have 2 silver games and then you'd have your bronze late. So we'll see if we can maybe make that work for fall. I would love to do that. I think when we did the Ultimate Championship, I thought that was awesome because we got to see both of the divisions, almost like an East and West Coast, come together and play for an Ultimate Championship. If I do that again this next fall, I would basically give championships, merchandise, whatever it is, to your winner of each division. So if you're a bronze A early and a bronze late A early, you guys would still get something for winning those Um, for winning that division, and then I would still want to see you guys come together and play for an ultimate championship. Maybe it's like $100 or something like that. So we'll have to work that out in the fall. But I think that's still the best idea for Sundays because you get to play a new team you've never played before. Kind of just like it's crazy. Both games were great. The year that we did it, I thought all the games were great. The one even got really chippy. So interested to see if maybe we could do that again for the fall. So that's a kind of a long one here since it's the first one of the season for the NERC weekly update. I'm going to try to do this more and more. I do have, Benny Brouillet helping me out, so I'm going to bring him in on a few of these as well. Whenever we can get together, maybe on a Thursday, go over the kind of just weekly stuff and things are going on. These are great to send to the teams just to kind of get a pulse on what the league is and where we're going with things. Future of NERC, looking pretty bright with the new floor coming in. Junior League, even though it's not as big, still sticking around, which is going to be, if we can get through the first 2 seasons, that's usually the hardest, is getting people to come back. I think in the fall, a lot of the kids who played last year aren't playing ice hockey anymore, so they're going to be full on roller dads at this point. And the other thing is, obviously, if you're playing in the league, don't just try to be good to your captains. I noticed that a lot of guys who are pain in the ass to their captains with payments and things like that, but try to be good to your captains. These guys put in a lot of effort. They're the ones kind of taking a loss every year, most likely. Whether it's $15 or $20, they shouldn't take a loss at all. I've looked into doing it a different way as far as collecting goes, but there's several issues with that. One of the things is, if someone doesn't pay and I say they can't play because they didn't pay and the team only has 5 guys and they're down to 4, that team's going to be pissed, right? They might be pissed at me, they may be pissed at the player, but it's not fair to kind of hemorrhage teams like that. So I do my best with letting you guys pay whenever you can. But it's got to stop. It can't be the last game of the season, and I can't be owed money after the season's over anymore. So be good to your captains. Don't be a dick. Make sure you're paying up. Make sure if you're committed, you're committed. If not, there's plenty of people who want to play. So it's not that big of a deal if you have to take off a season. So that's pretty much it. Sorry to end on a bad note, but that's it for the NERC Weekly Update. We'll be back next week with another edition. Hopefully we can get Benny Brouillet on there. I am going to continue the crease with the goaltender interviews. We only got one done with Keith Loge. It was kind of his idea too. But I'm going to try to get Devo next because I know he's taking off goaltending for the summer. So that's pretty big news as well. I'm going to try to get Devo on because I think he's just going to be a character. Maybe I'll slide a few tea lights in him, and we'll see how that one goes.